So the first thing I want to do is go to File, Open, or just press Open. And if this pops up, that means I'm in my Cloud section. To change from Cloud, I can just go to on my computer, and now I can find the file that I want that's on my computer. So now I'm just going to select this image. And let's say this image, as good as it is, let's say I see that it is a big file. It's over 6,000 pixels. So let's say I needed to resample this and make it a smaller image. So I would go to image, image size, and there's several ways that I can, change it. My resolution is actually 240. I could decrease my resolution or my PPI, and notice that just by making it 72, it decreased significantly in size. So I could go with that, and I think I will go with that. But there's also other things I can do. I can actually customize it and just say, hey, these are linked. So if I change it to 1,000 pixels in my width, or better yet in my height, then I know that it's still going to have a good resolution. Let's say if I wanted to keep my resolution higher, but change my pixels, I could do that. So keep my high resolution, but change my pixels, my actual dimensions right here. So my resolution is still high, it's 300. Now it's even higher than it was before, even though that doesn't necessarily make the image look any better, because the image is already there, so you can't make it any better. But so let's just change that back to 240, and let's put that at 1,000. There we go. So now yeah, so I just resampled it. If you uncheck resample, then there's a lot of stuff, confusion going on. So now the resolution is really low. So make sure you keep resample selected. I just canceled that out so that I can go back and do it again. So image size, make sure resample is checked. And now I can just change the height to 1,000 pixels and watch how this image shrinks. But when I press Command 0, which is a new key command for you, it looks basically the same. It's just a smaller file size, that's all. Let's talk a little bit about some key commands or some quick keys that we can use. So I like to use Command 0 to make it a full screen, or to zoom in I can press Command plus or Control plus. To zoom out, Command minus. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this. With some of our tools, like the Move tool, we can just press the letter V and we'll get that tool automatically. You'll see it right here. For the brush tool, we just press the letter B. Crop tool, letter C, and so forth and so forth. Eraser tool, letter E. But the lasso tool, letter L. This quick selection tool, letter W. So it's not all exactly right, but some of them, like the type tool, letter T. So it's pretty cool. Now let's say if you're looking for them, you're looking for the quick key, there's also these three dots right here, and you can go inside here, double click or hold that down, then click. Now you can see some of the key commands for certain tools and toolboxes. Alright, so now that we've done that, let's jump back into this. So I want to talk to you about the rule of thirds briefly. That's only because we're going to be using the crop tool in the next video. So the crop tool, once I have this selected, Notice, oops, once I have this selected, if I click one time, notice that these lines pop up. These lines are guides for us to use for the rule of thirds. So the photographer obviously used the rule of thirds in this image and kind of offset her in the middle of this third of the image. So we have this third, that third, and then this third. We can also look at it from this way, from top to bottom, but we can also use these guides as kind of like targets. So we can kind of like, let's say I can, matter of fact, I'll do this. I'm gonna scale this, I'm gonna crop this down so that I have more image to move around. So let's say if I wanted to aim her right here in the center between these, it has a more dramatic effect. Now I could just slide her over like this, but it's not as cool as this for some reason. This just has a nice look. I like that. And that's pretty much there. That's all that I'm gonna go over with the rule of thirds. It's not something that you have to know to use Photoshop. It's just something that can help guide you when you're laying out your design or your composition. So that's just something that I wanted to add in there to kind of give you guys an extra advantage over the competition. So let's talk a little bit about our rulers and guides. So let's if you notice, I have my rulers already up here. If I didn't have them up here, it'll look like this, but since I want them, I'm gonna pull them back. So I'm going to view rulers, and I want you to notice that there are key commands right here as well, letting me know how to get my rulers without going to view and then selecting rulers. I could just press Command R. Command R removes them, Command R adds them. So if I wanted guides for this image, and let's say I wanted to bring my guide to the 500 mark on my right here, I can just click and drag this guide, this line right here to 500. And if I want it to be real precise, I'll hold down the shift key. I can also add guides in other places horizontally and so forth. I'm not going to get too much into it. I just want to show you that you can do it and that you can edit them. So if I wanted to move them around, I could. Now this is pretty, I don't want to say dangerous, but it can be annoying if you set your guides in an exact place and then they just kept moving. So how do you fix that? You want to go to view, and then you want to lock your guides, and you can lock your guides. But let's say I went here, I went to view, and I have my guides here. I use my guides for whatever I wanted to use them for, and now I don't need them. They're getting in the way, and I'm just feeling like I don't want these guides anymore. How do you get rid of them? Go to view, clear guides. It's as simple as that. All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about cropping in the next video.